Hello everybody and welcome to Suzuka for the latest round of the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League here in Season 4 of 2025. This is the third last round of a very close and interesting season. Here, myself, Leary, and Jim Cunningham will take you through the action tonight from Suzuka, which plays host to this latest round of the championship, our only trip over into Asia before we end the season at Long Beach and Imola in the next couple of weeks. Good to be alongside you, Jim. I mean, it's always hard work at Suzuka, I've got to say, for the drivers, that is. Therefore, less work for us, in fact. But hard work for the drivers, and made even harder by the rain that is absolutely pelting this circuit at the moment, making conditions very, very tricky indeed.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. Good to have you back doing iGPFun with me. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. You and I have called a few rain races this year, and this one looks to be as heavy a rain as we've seen in a while. So, yeah, it should be interesting for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And it comes off the back of an interesting first 9 rounds of this championship as well. We'll show you the championship standings as we're on the way in to just 3 races to go. And in terms of total points, Luca Varani is leading the way in front of Noah Faut, and then it's Antonio Jimenez in third place. A bit of a gap then back to Scott Taylor and Brad Fulligat, who round out the top 5. Then another gap back to Mehmet Tashi, a little bit Ranson, Robert Ridgway and Edward Amos, and Johan Annette, who has won quite a few races this season, 5 in fact, and is in 10th in the standings. But if you apply a couple of drop weeks, it gets even closer, because it allows, you can see the amounts of races attended, by the way, in that second column, if you like. That's what the R means. Fulliger has missed a race, so when you apply the drop weeks, he actually gets ahead of everybody, at just 1 point in front of Noah Faut, who is in there as well. Then it's Jimenez, then Varani, who's been at every race, and sometimes in standings that always seems to hurt drivers when they've been to every race. 4th place for Varani, but only 19 points behind Fulliger, and it's all very close, so not too much to worry about for Varani, although he does need to start making up some of those points. In terms of the team standings going into this round of the championship, it's 10 points between Arton Delia Red and then RRS Galactic Grid Gremlins. I do like some tongue twisters. 10 points between them. Alsturgal Esports, then GPFun 67, and then Twin Dragons Racing rounding out the top 5. It's all very close on the way down. As you can see, the drivers that they've all got, by the way, very, very close. And there's some of the same names that are appearing at the top of drivers' standings at the moment. I can tell you that the driver standings and the current qualifying standings look fairly similar. Johan Annette is leading the way by half a second in the end of Kenzie North, with Tonio Jimenez in Tony Jimenez in third place. Annette was miles in front in practice. I don't know if you saw those times at the end of practice, but the gap was huge. Nuoff 5 tenths behind him here. That's quite a large gap as well by the standards of this series. So it seems that Johan Annette has got this car absolutely working, and is a good way in front of this field at the moment.
Yeah, well, man, there's a certain art to driving in the rain, and you will see some much larger gaps. All these guys, certainly the top 30 in points or so are all really, really fast. And when the conditions are perfect, literally you can have 25 guys separated by less than a second. And, but the rain is a great equalizer. Not everybody's great in the rain. And these cars have no traction control and they have no ABS. And that makes a huge difference. Having someone like myself who's just got a big old heavy lead foot, it doesn't pay off well in these conditions at all. So
no. There are a couple of places around this circuit as well where that can really be a problem. Very tight hairpin at turn 11 here at this venue. You've got to be very, very wary of. But as you say, in these conditions, it actually turns every corner really into a traction zone when you're coming out of it. especially over the top of the hill. I'd imagine Dunlop Curve is going to be a bit precarious because it always is. And indeed, in these conditions, it's only going to get worse as well. Tony Jimenez might have got over the line in time for another lap here, and indeed he has. So here he is into 130R. This is where you can see some massive crashes, by the way. The recent iRacing special event, the latest iRacing special event, the Suzuka 1000 kilometres was here, and there were some massive crashes through 130R in that race. And that's just what happens at this venue. The outside curve there is very, very precarious, but I'm afraid that Jimenez is nowhere near doing his fast time at the moment. He comes into the pit lane, so it will be a net on the pole. I won't run through the rest of the grid. We'll do that in a moment when the race session begins. But we've got 41 in the field tonight. Sometimes the rain puts people off, but glad to see not a bit of it here tonight.
That's right, yeah. Not a bit. I'm thrilled to see that because that bothers me to no end when you get half the guys show up because it's raining. It's great to see that these guys show up, and I won't give any spoilers or anything in case nobody's watched yet, but the Formula One qualifying the other night, I stayed up late to watch it since it was here in America, and they were qualifying at like midnight, and it was absolutely horrendous. It was pouring down rain, and roughly, I think, track temperature was like 13 degrees. It was horrible. And, so... I just like to see these guys show up in the rain. That's good. That's fun. Makes for exciting racing. Gonna be a lot of incidents today. We won't be able to show them all. That's for sure.
That is for certain. We can already say that for sure. I can imagine. We'll try and keep across as much of it as possible as always. But it's going to be a very, very busy race. That's for sure. So everybody in the pit lane. We're just waiting for the session to advance now, and then the drivers will be out there on the circuit very, very shortly. As always with this series, we'll have a number of laps rather than the timed races you get in officials. And it will run for a little bit longer than the officials do as well. Get us a little bit longer to enjoy this circuit in these conditions. So, Ewan will be on the pole ahead of Kenzie Neuhoff, champion of seasons gone past. Tony Jimenez and Stefan Dodder then on row 2 with Guillaume Buzzard and Ludovic Vincent on row 3. Patrick Williams ahead of Marius Anderson with Robert Ridgway and Luca Varani rounding out the top 10. It's Ewan and Mehmet Tashi, who are on row 6, ahead of Dennis Cornu and Andrew Harris. Then it's Justin Carrizosa and Noah Fau. Quite a long way down for the driver who's second in the championship coming into tonight. Yunus Amal and Simone Gabrielli are then on row 9 ahead of Albert Harari and Jacques Willems. It's Chris Patel and Simon Fessi in 22nd place. So Jerry Boule and Andy Flint. Then Max Bortolotta with Eddie Amos alongside John McKenzie and Vincenzo Tormina on row 14. An all-English 15th row with Clark Williams and Scott Taylor. Kuji Ito is 31st ahead of Marcelo Caruso with Doran Arroyo and Jose Gil on row 17. Nathan Rosso is then next ahead of Noel Richie Robinson. Ben Goyette and Adam Townsend on an all-Canadian row 19 ahead of Kai Shorumi. On home soil, the other Japanese driver with Koji Ito in this field. Richard Van Veen and Jose Garcia at the back, although I'm slightly sceptical they will start. They're at the back at the moment, having not gridded up yet, but maybe they are just taking their time. 41 cars in the field again. It is, as I say, a massive grid. And everybody going for wet tyres, perhaps unsurprisingly, but it seems to me like these conditions are maybe slightly brighter than qualifying.
You're more optimistic than I am so far. I'm not so sure. I think it's just maybe the camera angle that we got here. Let's pull out here and see. Get a something that looks a little more realistic. But yeah, maybe slightly letting up.
Maybe I'm being optimistic, as you say. It's still pretty gloomy out there on the circuit, that's for sure. Well, here we go. The third last round in the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League this season, and we are underway. Oh, bad start there from both of the drivers on row 3, and it's going to stack up the field massively. Waving around from Annette as he's trying to get those tyres up to temperature in towards turn 1. Here we go. Let's see as they all get through cleanly. A lot of caution taken early on in towards turn number 1, and well done to everybody for that. I know we've got the early purple zone, but even so, that doesn't mean there can't be accidents. Here we go through the S's, still side by side indeed. If you start side by side, of course, which everybody does off the grid, then you can continue that on. You can't just make active overtakes, to remind you, through this opening part of the race. Even more imperative in these conditions that those rules are followed, and indeed they have been followed by everybody here. It looks like everybody's gotten away without contact, certainly, and nobody's gone off the road, thrown it off the road through the first sector either. So a very good start across the board.
Yeah, quite impressive, to be honest with you, and it's good to see drivers exercising a little caution here. We've got a long race, and we don't need to try to win it in the first turn, especially not in the rain.
No, absolutely. Oh, that's quite wide, very wide, but that's quite kind of a line in the wet, really, through the hairpin here. So you can get away with that. 26 laps, by the way. We have got an hour's time limit, so should be enough for us to see through this whole race. But it's going to be quite a long slog for these guys because the conditions are so out there on the circuit. Tony Jimenez here is close in with Patrick Williams, who looks at the inside of him. Ludovic Ranson is then next in line coming out of Spoon Curve. These three are very close together coming out of Spoon and on towards the back straight now towards 130R, which could be an action point here tonight, a big action point. Outside line for Williams. That's brave if he wants to go through there, and he doesn't. Ooh. Jimenez sees him off, and he probably made the right choice by not going around the outside of that corner.
Yes, I believe so. Man, what happened to Johan Annette? He's gone. He's checking out already. Golly, he is so fast, man.
Yeah,
these top two are, they've got almost over a second and then a second, so it's really starting to spread out. But we're gonna. That's good to see, though. We need to see. Oh no, there goes.
Oh no.
That's right.
Williams goes off, and
Williams,
Ranson very nearly follows him through turn number 1. So one of our early spins, in fact. We haven't seen too many on lap 1. It was a good job from everybody on the opening lap, but it has happened now. There goes Tachi around the outside of Ranson, who's down to 10th position. And it's going to continue. Tashi now goes for a spin. And this is where the rhythm of this race gets difficult as all these conditions start to bite. It's Ranson also off, Carrizosa as well. 3 cars spinning into the same gravel trap.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, well, not terribly surprising. The problem is when they see something happen in front of them, they react to it. And any kind of quick, sudden movements in these kind of conditions just send these cars just flying.
Yeah, they certainly do.
So one of the things...
Meantime,
no, go ahead.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say, for people that are maybe kind of new to rain racing or something, if you see these guys taking some really weird lines through the turns and something that doesn't look normal to you, a lot of times the braking is actually better off of the regular racing line. The regular racing line in the rain tends to be a little slicker, so you can sometimes get off of the regular racing line and actually find some better grip. So you may see some guys doing some weird, just different stuff than you would normally see.
Yeah,
or it could be that right there.
That's not intentional, that one.
No.
But it is true. Normally you do try and run off the racing line, whether that be in the braking zone or even if it's possible through the corners. You can run a little bit different. Obviously, it's not different. It's not possible everywhere, like through the final chicane, for example, where it is not possible to really run off the racing line very much. Rob Ridgway has now trouble through the final chicane as well here, and he needed to come in to serve his black flag anyway. But unfortunately, he's coming in at painfully slow speed because of that incident that he's just had, that spin he's just had coming out of the final chicane. So here comes Ridgway, and he will drop down the field. There is Gabrielli getting through on Andrew Harris in towards 9th position. So again, like often we see with these races, the front guys spreading out a little bit as they get on with their pace, especially Annette, who's a long way out front. But the guys behind battle just as hard as always.
Yeah, that was there's a good example right there, running way off the racing line. That's Justin Carrizosa.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, somebody.
Oh, Noah Fowl off the road.
Oh, that was Noah Fowl.
That's the second place man in the championship there, off the road through the S's right in this midfield group. It's so dangerous to start in, but clearly struggling in these conditions. Mentioned earlier that you've got to be, or you mentioned that you've got to be really careful on the traction, and I added that every corner becomes a traction zone because of this wet weather, and that is a legacy of that. Normally through there, you don't have to worry about your right foot really at all at such high speed, but it's not high speed anymore, and it's slick conditions now, and now Foul spins to very much the back end of the field, down to 22nd now.
And one of the things about these cars, too, that really it actually over-exaggerates it is as you have to slow down because the conditions are so bad, the cars lose a tremendous amount of downforce. So the cornering ability that you feel like these cars should have, even, that's disappears so much because of the lack of downforce, because as these cars slow down, they lose a tremendous amount of downforce there. That's Fessy and that. Hang on, some
Fessy off. Ferrari was the other one.
I tell you what, we're going to see so much of that today. Like for example, we saw Noah Foul spin, and he's way down in the field now. Don't be surprised if he ends up with a top 10. We're literally going to see that level of incidents today, I think.
Yeah, it's very true. The driver, or some of the drivers who finished in the top 10 are going to have had difficult days and quite a lot of spins, I would imagine, as we see Flynn here in 19th position. Oh dear, Nathan Rosso with a lot of speed on the back straight here. Part of the current team's championship leaders. That's somebody a lap down trying to stay out of everybody's way, but he's almost on the apex there at turn number 1, blocking off the inside line.
This is
so up to second, and Neuhoff is having to defend from Stefan Dodderer, who hits him now into Tegner 2, and somehow they get away with it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, it does look like the rain has lightened up some, doesn't it? So these conditions may slightly improve. I mean, we're certainly going to nowhere near see a dry track, but maybe they won't become quite as treacherous.
See, maybe a little bit, yeah. I mean, from this angle, the rain doesn't look like it's falling at all anymore.
No, but I mean,
not,
well, let's see. Let's go on board with someone here real quick and see if it.
A spin. Neuhoff's just spun.
Oh, he sure
outside of Spoon Curve from second place, right in behind a lapped car. That wasn't the overall leader, by the way, who had had a trouble there. It was just Kenzie Neuhoff who spun there through Spoon Curve. As you mentioned earlier, some guys are going to finish in the top 10 having had very difficult days, and Neuhoff from second spins out through Spoon Curve there.
Yeah, and Johan Annette here, he's checking in from a different zip code somewhere else in Japan. He's almost 9 seconds ahead 5 laps into this race. I mean, he's flying. He's fast in the rain anyway, and he's not having to deal with all those incidents and traffic around him as much. He will hit traffic a lot faster than normal, though. And probably already has passed some lap guys along the way.
Yep, he certainly has. Already we have got 9 off the lead lap due to pit stops mainly, but also being lapped after their stops if they were a little bit shorter. Simone Gabrielli now in front of Engen for 7th position. So positions being made up here.
Luca
now
Varani,
same for
man.
Luca Varani. Who's in 6th position at the moment? So decent progress from him again.
Yeah, he seems to be zipping along quite nicely in the rain. He's a very consistent driver. That shouldn't really be surprising that he gets along, pretty well in the rain. That really, I mean, that really shouldn't be surprising at all.
Yeah, true. It's just the qualifying positions that he maybe misses out on sometimes. Only got 1 podium so far this season, hence why when we add those drop weeks for rounds that the others weren't at, they are a little bit further ahead of Varani than in terms of total points, where Varani has been very, very consistent so far this season, indeed throughout history as well. He's only been outside the top 10 twice this season, and that is where his drop weeks have come so far in season 4 of 2025. There's the biggest movers on the right hand side of the screen. Rosso and Townsma both gaining 12 positions so far in the race. Simone Gabriele as well gaining positions and looking for one more here on Luca Varani. Here he comes on the inside of Varani in towards 130R. He was quite a long way back, but Varani saw him coming and lets him in there. So Gabriele now moves up those point positions gained standings, and he's now been up 12. A very good start from Simone Gabriele so far.
Indeed. I'm not going to lie to you. When the way he came sailing it up in there, I half expected him to completely run off the track there. I was actually quite a bit surprised when he got it woed down enough to make that turn. That was actually really impressive.
Yeah, it was. Able to make up another position. And, well, just he does that, Rosso gains another one as well. So it will probably continue. Here comes Noah Fowl in time in the background of this group. Three drivers in it, with Robert Ridgway and Eddie Amos at the front of this group. Here comes Fowl, inside line. He'll be getting desperate here. Starts the day just 1 point in behind Fulliger in these standings. And Brad Fulliger isn't here today, so we'll have to take another drop round. Wasn't at the opening round of the season either. That drop round was for last week's 40th place finish at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. This is a golden chance for Fowl to gain points on him, therefore. And at the moment, he's not necessarily taking them. Although he is 16th and would be gaining enough to get ahead of Fulliger, it still wouldn't be very much. Oh, no! Trouble! Over the top of the hill there. Harari is off, and Simon Fetsi drops down the field as well for some reason.
Yeah, that was also Amal what was involved there.
Oh.
Yeah, that was, Jonas Amal. I think he's and then that's Amal there. There's so many incidents on the screen here to look at. We just had Gary Bowl. He just had an incident. A lot of these single car incidents, they're just breaks loose on him and loses it. It does seem, I never did actually. I was going to go in cockpit, and then we got all distracted because we had crashes galore everywhere. Yeah, see, the conditions seem to be much better, and as these tires will definitely move the water off of the track to some degree, which, by the way, is more realistic than you might think. You know, down the straightaway, and he almost lost it. Holy cow! So as this goes along, the conditions will get better and better, and I think we'll see faster and faster lap times. In fact, the fastest lap of the race was just set by Johan Annette on his last lap, so that's kind of an indication that the conditions are getting better and better.
Yep, it is. I mean, I think we're seeing now a race, I think, that is going to be played out in those conditions, and I don't think on dry tyres. I don't think it's going to get dry enough before the end of the race, but even though it isn't raining anymore. Ranson on Rosso in towards turn one, and that was a good move around the outside from Ludovic Ranson. Went straight off the road actually for Rosso. That would have helped him, and straight through as well for Andy Flint then into 17th place. I think Robert Ridgway just went off as well through turn number one.
Yeah, Ridgway.
It wouldn't have been a massive incident, but he did lose a couple of places, as has Eddie Amos now. He's spun. There he is in the gravel trap coming over the top of the hill, which has bitten again.
Oh, my goodness. Albert Harari, I'm going to show this one, then I'm not going to do it again. He has had quite a few. Well, he kept it out of the wall. He's had several. What? Johan Annette?
Whoa. Is it just running wide here? No. It's a big spin. And has he hit the wall? He's gotten away with it.
Man, I tell you what, look at that. That right there, he released the brakes at just the right time to make sure that man. But that just goes to show you, folks. And look, here comes Stefan Dotterer right there. Let's go back to live image now. And these two should be, right there. Not exactly nose to tail, but given the fact that he was in a different area code a few minutes ago, that's a area code. That's probably a U.S. thing, isn't it? Do you have area codes over there?
We've got postcodes in the UK.
No, well, that's a zip code here. An area code is a regional. The front three numbers on your phone number is called the area code, and that's a regional thing. Yeah,
we don't need those because we call those countries.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. That is a country. That's right. You're calling Germany now, as opposed to I'm calling the other side of Texas.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Broussard, meantime, down the inside of Degner 1, can't quite get through on Kenzie Neuhoff, who has never really recovered since his spin at Spoon Curve. He doesn't seem to quite have the speed he had before. I can't imagine his tyre temperatures loved it. Although he did set his personal best last time round. Many drivers have done. In fact, all but 2 drivers in the top 7 set their personal best last time round, which just suggests it was getting drier. However, I think it has just started raining again, so maybe that has come to an end quite quickly.
Wait a minute. This is new, too. Thought that's right where, that's just past where Johan Annette did it. Johan Annette didn't.
Annette was a corner later. Neuhoff went for a spin there, though.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to remember who went where.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just on that white line there going a bit wide, and that's a spin for Fout, who will be I'll see whether he'll be the championship leader at the end of this, because Jimenez is gaining a lot of points on him at the moment. But let's wait and see. Now Fout's worst result currently is 33rd, so this would count towards his score as far as I can see for the moment, although it is only 11th place, and Jimenez is not quite gaining enough on that, although it's going to get a lot closer if it stays as it is. So 1 lap since Annette's spin and the 1/3 mark of this race, and Dodderer is right there, and he's not being blown out the water in the way that he was in the first part of the race. He's properly staying with Annette at this stage.
Yeah, I would say it's surprising me a little, and it's probably surprising Annette as well. The Dodderer seems to have gotten more and more comfortable as the race has went along with these conditions, whereas Annette seemed to be very comfortable early on, and then once he spun, he seems to be a little bit more hesitant. He's quite significantly slower now than he was prior to his spin, meaning I don't think it hurt his tires as much as I think he is probably just becoming more cautious.
Yeah, perhaps that is the case, because he doesn't need to, after all, to go out to get a 10-second lead or whatever. It's nice to have, of course, but he doesn't need it necessarily. He'd much rather keep his tyres underneath him in a sensible manner, which he is seemingly doing at the moment. Harris, meantime, overtaken by Dennis Cornu for 9th place, meantime, and that looked like there was a mistake involved for Harris. Nothing too major, but he has lost 9th place, meantime. Let's it is.
See. We can go back and take a look at that real quick, I believe.
It might have been the gravel at Degner 1, if I were to guess, or 2. Oh, no, he's just slowing down.
I don't know. That just seemed like he kind of let him go by. Maybe he didn't want to, risk incident or something.
It was a bit odd, that, but there you go. Harris maybe seeing Cornu behind him as well and thinking, well, he's faster than me, so we might as well get this over with and let him through. Oh, dear. Spin for... who is that spun there? Turmina.
Yeah.
Vincenzo Turmina, who has spun now outside the top 20. Caruso and Harari take a place each, and Turmina now down to 22nd. Again, there is going to be so many of those sort of small spins over the course of this race.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually, we got a nice battle shaping up here in the top 5.
Jimenez involved for 3rd place, and he's just going to get run round by Guillaume Bozard, who got into 4th not that long ago. Now is in 3rd and is showing some very good speed. Last lap didn't count because he must have had an off-track, but it was a 2:03.1, which would have been the fastest lap of the race if he'd have prevented himself from getting the off-track that clearly has prevented that time from counting properly, but he's clearly very quick.
The way he drove around the outside of Jimenez there, that was really impressive to me. I mean, he was, again, off the racing line, which a lot of times you do find extra grip there. But, man, that was a confident overtake. He knew that car was going to stick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just completely trusted in that car and went right round Jimenez, who now is only gaining 7 points on foul, by the way. This is Max Bartolotta going for a big spin in towards turn 1.
But then, yeah, I don't think he's done yet. Maybe he is. He ultimately is going to jump to the pits, so I don't think.
So yeah, look, yep, quite fast into the next part.
Yeah, he
gets away with that.
He's teetering right on the edge of out of control.
Yeah,
you can see it.
It makes you wonder why you would do that after spinning like that. But anyway.
Well, he's confident. Oh, wait a minute.
There we go. And that'll be that.
Yeah. Did he just decided to pick it up after that? I guess he did.
Yeah. So, and I feel like a lot of drivers have actually done something similar here with the numbers in this race starting to tumble very, very quickly. You can only drop 2 laps down in this race, by the way, and still be classified. So that means that anybody below there's already over 10 out of this race for sure in terms of being classified, and something similar of those who have just left the session completely. So we applaud all these 39 starters, as it's ended up being here, for turning up here tonight. But obviously it's a much different thing to get to the end as Guillaume Bouzard spins through Degner 1. He's clearly got great speed, but he's made a couple of errors now, and he drops to 5th position.
Well, I guess if you send it in there with that much confidence, but in the end, it really didn't hurt him that bad. He's still in the top 5, and once he gets his tires back under him again, he'll start putting down some fast lap times again and probably run those guys back down.
Yeah, you can imagine, given the speed he's got, he will do that.
Right.
But
he's going to be entertaining to watch anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, just yo-yoing up the field, as he's done a couple of times already in the first half of this race, which is almost drawing to a close here. Fastest lap of the race last time round, by the way, went to Simone Gabrielli. So while Tony Jimenez has just gained a place, he might well lose it again quite soon, as Marcelo Caruso continues to fight with Tamina in 21st place. Not too many fights happening out there on the circuit at the moment, but Caruso looking quick here in
this is
attacking
part of the
this
reason why.
21st place.
Although these cars don't really seem to kick up quite as much water as some other cars do. You know, like you get behind some of these GT cars and you literally can't see anything. But this isn't, I mean, it's not great, but it's not horrible either, you know. Well, let's see. Let me cockpit. No? Oh, my goodness. He's getting pelted with rocks.
Yeah, that's Bouzard's stones.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of debris on this track. Yeah, he sure did just run off there, didn't he? There's a lot of debris on this track because we have had a lot of cars off track. So there's got to be a ton of debris on here. All right, I'm gonna pull up this crash. You tell me how you say this name.
Well, I haven't got a first name, which is the first obstacle, but Nguyen is what?
Well,
I mean, I'm guessing.
No, well, in America, that's typically a Vietnamese name, and in America, they pronounce it as Nguyen here in America. Nguyen.
Yes, I've heard that as well.
And it's not uncommon for them to have that as a first and last name. That doesn't mean that it is his first and last name, but yeah, in America we pronounce it as Nguyen. I was just curious because every time I say Nguyen, I feel weird because no one else says that.
No, I think that is actually what is the word? Linguistically correct, I think. But I
well, that's probably the first time that's ever been said about me. So there's that. If anybody's going to butcher your name, it will be me, guaranteed. Oh my goodness, Eddie Amos, hold on to it.
Oh, okay. Well done.
All right, yeah, no harm, no foul. There.
He gets away with that. More stones, but anyway.
Oh, yeah, more stones. Plenty of stones. Takes plenty of stones. Speaking of plenty of stones, it takes quite a few to drive in this kind of conditions and go fast. You like that one, did you?
Yeah, there you go. A bit of a double entendre, as it were. Meantime, Dennis Cornu up to 7th ahead of Patrick Williams. A nice pass from Cornu, who seems to have been making up places as well. Up 6 so far in this race.
It's funny.
Up as many as
funny how things change, isn't it? Just a few, 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, you said, well, there's not too many battles right now on track, and now we've got like 5 different battles that are inside of a second.
Well, it's
just that quick, you know.
Works.
Yeah, it's great though. I mean, this is good stuff. And these are much more hair-raising because, as somebody starts to push, it's so much easier for something, negative to happen. But you can see there are some drying areas out there, though. Because if you look, not that we're ever going to see dry tires, but I mean, like you can start to see some drying lines, which means these guys are going to go searching for wet lines for these tires to work better, So you're really going to see some guys maybe getting back onto the regular racing line if the traditional rain line is drying up,
Yeah, you can definitely see the different sort of levels of wet. You see it there, the different levels of wet tarmac, and so the drier part is still pretty wet, and there is, as you say, there isn't going to be dries in this race, but it could get easier in terms of these conditions at certain stages, and we did see the fastest lap of the race set actually last time round by Kenzie Newhoff, so 2:02.3 we're now down to. Over the line for Annette and Dodderer, though. Surely they're about to go pretty quick themselves, only 1.2 seconds apart. Well, Dodderer in the 3.5s, but Annette in the low 4s that time round. Might have been a mistake, or maybe traffic that they've just passed down the field.
That 2:02 is pretty impressive. I mean, it's significantly faster than anybody else's fast lap in the race. Like over a second faster than anyone else has laid down. That's a quick lap.
Yep, that is a very quick lap from Kenzie Newhoff, and he's probably not that far away from making up some more positions. Well, here we go, actually. Ludovic Ranson's just made a mistake through Spoon, so he's even closer now.
Oh, he sure did, didn't he? What's happening?
So gap's only 2 seconds now as a result of this. There you go. White line again on the outside.
Boy, that paint is so tough, isn't it? And Scott Taylor's he's having a rough afternoon of it as well. I showed one earlier, just kind of in the background, but he's just going to be blessed that the cameras are being kind to him. Well, I don't even know that he. All right, now I got to see what. Because it almost seemed like he just slowed, like really slow.
I think he did spin to the inside, or at least a half spin.
Like under the bridge there?
Major.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Call. All right.
Just a little bit.
Yep. So let's do this. Let's bring up the fast 5 laps for the race. You'll have to pardon the little flashing thing at the top. I'm supposed to have a logo in there, but I'm struggling to get it placed currently. But it's still, the information is valuable.
Yeah, and there you can see Kenzie Newhoff with the best lap time by some distance, and in the main part of your screen, he's making up a place on Ludovic Ranson. And he's off! Whoa, big slide, and he'll be back to 16th just as soon as he's up to 15th. But the information doesn't lie, as you say. The second there, not for me. It's not the lap time itself. The fact that we're a couple of seconds quicker than what we were at the start of the race, I guess, is notable in itself. But actually, it's the gap to the next best, Simone Gabrielli, which is most impressive. Yeah,
a full second faster in the when everybody's out there and in a rhythm. That's really impressive. I mean, again, these guys would be hundredths of a second apart, a lot of them. And here we are seeing it. The gap there is at a full second. Tune back in on Jimenez and Gabrielle.
That's close. He very nearly got squeezed off the circuit there, did Gabrielli, but Jimenez doesn't open the steering and send him off, and instead preserves his car. So he's now only 6 places in front of Noah Fout, who at the moment, as I say, is going to be taking the championship lead as far as I can see. Fulliger, is going to drop out of this championship fight now. It looks like Noah Fout 13 in front of Jimenez at the start of the day. That would reduce to just 7 points in front, but nevertheless, it would be a little bit closer. And Varani would go from 18 behind to, what would it be there? 14 behind. And that's 14 now, not 13, because Buzar has just got through in his continued yo-yo race.
Well, we knew he was going to be fast, moving again. So, he's like I said, I think he's going to be fun to watch today. My question is how. Let's see. He's way behind Jimenez. He's 12 seconds behind Jimenez, so that's a pretty significant gap. Let's see here. So here's some other things. Let's look at this real quick. So this is your best battles currently on the track right now.
Yep, Buzar and Varani the closest. Oh, and it's going to get separated with a big spin for Guillaume Buzar. And he's it's painful. He's disappeared. Where's he gone? Oh, is he disqualified? Is he out, or is that disconnection? Because that would have been an off track there. But surely that was not. Surely he's not hit the limit there.
No, I think so.
It's such a violent spin. He's disconnected internet.
Well, okay, that's really, really weird. All right, we'll just have to let this play out and see what happens. He's clearly gone, though. I mean, because when it kicks to no one on camera like that's what that means. So yeah, he's out of the session. Whatever happened, either he rage quit or I'm beginning to think it's me because every time I click on somebody, they wreck. I don't know what's going on.
Marcelo Caruso off there. The hairpin this time. He's overtaken by Ewan Annette, actually, who's now put a lap on him. 10 laps to go still when we get to the line here. Bit of a longer race than usual with these conditions, of course. But again, we should not reach any time limit. These races can't run any longer than an hour. But even in these pretty bad conditions, quite a long circuit, we are going to see the full 26 laps here tonight. And that is a good thing. Annette has extended an even bigger lead now over Stefan Dorra. That's 2.5 seconds now.
Let's see. I'm going to actually throw up. I was going to show up a little time thing just to so that it would kind of give us an idea where we were at on time. Maybe not.
We're over halfway through. I tell you that we are 33.5 minutes in to what's the maximum an hour.
Yeah, we're way
here
good
today.
So as you can see down there with the best battles going on, again, we've gotten to that point where there's nobody really that close. Like the closest battles are a second and a half apart right now, which it's kind of an ebb and flow thing. It kind of comes and goes like that.
Yeah, it will change around quite often, and just as as soon as we had 5 battles less than a second a few laps ago, suddenly the gaps get bigger again, and that will just continue to happen. This is Ludovic Ransol spinning through Degnal 1 into the gravel, which actually turns him around the back way quite nicely, and he rejoins easily. So
arguably the best tracks around this course is probably in the gravel right now.
Yeah.
Patrick Williams just had a little incident. Let's see. All these are just single car incidents, A
little bit wide at turn 1, but that is the line in these conditions. But spins around and into that outside tarmac. So another one he gets away with. I guess that was
Cornu that just went by him. Yeah, I believe it was. Yep, that was Cornu that went by him. So he dropped 1 spot there, I think.
Yeah, just the one for Williams. He had a bit of clear track space to just get straight back going again anyway. Kenzie Newhoff has just got past Andy Flint, actually. So we said a moment ago that there were no gaps more than a second. Well, that's got way less than a second and then a bit more again as we were watching that replay there because of how changeable this is. This is Simone Gabrielli getting past some lap traffic at the moment. He's got to be very careful through here as they all go through 130R. They all get through it nicely this time, but yeah, this is traffic that he's just trying to get clear of at the moment.
Song. Oh my goodness. Got another incident. I think this one is not going to.
Already running quite slow.
I think it marked it as a. I don't know. Is he toe after that? No, he's still.
I think he's still going.
He's still digging out there.
Yeah, 16th. He's down 10.
Yeah.
In the race so far.
Well, I'll tell you what, these conditions are so tough. I would have been out a long time ago with that 2-lap thing. We'd have been 3 laps into the race, and I'd have been DQ'd. Yeah,
well, you don't get disqualified, to be fair, but you're just not going to score any points even if you cross the line at 3 laps down or any worse. I don't think there is anybody racing out there who is at that point anyway. There are some drivers who are 1 lap down, but nobody racing any longer who is 2 or more down. 23 still in the race from the 39 that started. It's a massive attrition rate, and it looks like it's getting a lot darker to me again.
It does. Max Bartolotta is on dry tires.
That might be why. Well, he's not driving anymore, but yeah, that might be why he retired eventually. Just gave the dries a go, and then thought, no, actually.
So this would have been his last incident. Oh no, that's not.
Well, it looks like a driver on dry tires to me. I can't lie.
Yeah, that didn't go well for him at all. I mean, that had to be a mistake. You know what I mean? Like he came into the pits and accidentally had it set to change tires to dry by accident, and then you can't undo that. So you have to at least go out and make a lap or tow yourself back to the pits, and that ends up not being a good thing.
Yeah, it's been done many times before. The accidentally changing tyres, or indeed changing them onto the wrong compound, as Dodder gets past that lap car. They're in quite a lot of traffic here, these leaders, although past this and they get into some clean air for the next few laps. And Annette is just managing speed, managing this race a little bit better than before. I mean, clearly the fastest driver in this field, I think, but to run that top speed, he's got to take quite a lot of risk, and that's a risk not worth taking at the moment when you're out front by such a margin.
So you're a points calculating guy, unlike me. You don't have to take your shoes off to count that high. So is there any chance that he can win the championship? I mean, I know he's won all these races, but he was like 100 points behind. But looking at his potential for drops and all of that, is there still a chance he could win this and win out and have a chance at the championship?
So he was 60 points behind Brad Fulliger at the start of tonight, but as I mentioned, Fulliger's not here today, and he hasn't got any points in a drop round to utilise. Because this is his second DNS of the season after missing into Lagos, and he didn't score any at Montreal last week either. So he is going to drop out. So effectively, we can call him 59 points behind Noah Fow at the start of today.
Right.
Fow is still 9th, although that could improve. So that's 8 points gained. So that'll be 51 behind at the end of today. Fow's drop rounds, though, are 33 points. And sorry, that's position, is it? Yeah, final position. Sorry, 11 points and 29 points, which means you could gain a maximum of 14 and then 32, which is a maximum of 46, which is which is less points than the deficit of 51 that he currently has. So I was working up my math out loud there. I didn't, but he would be short at the moment. He needs Fow to lose another 5 positions or so. Now 6, actually, because he's just got past Harris. He needs Fow to be 15th or worse tonight to still have a chance.
By Harris.
Yeah, another mistake.
Yeah, you notice he's not in the picture here currently.
He'll be in the picture very briefly.
There he goes. And Noah Fowl was the example I used earlier. You remember I said how far when he got in trouble and he was way down in the field in the 20-somethings.
Yeah.
And I said, don't be surprised if he finishes in the top 10. You know, and here you go. I mean, it's just that kind of race, there's a level of persistence that you have to have in these conditions. You have to be patient with yourself if you make a mistake, because you can recover from them in these type conditions, If you start driving all crazy and mad at yourself and what have you, the mistakes just compound themselves. But, if you just accept the fact that, hey, there's probably going to be some mistakes made and just deal with it, and still survive and come out very nice. And I mean, Noah's going to end up having a decent race here.
Yep. So he is currently 8th in live pictures, but he is going to gain a bit of time on Patrick Williams. No, Williams is okay. Something weird going on in timing there, but it's fixed itself. 4.5 seconds, the gap there, as Amet is going to see 6 laps to go. As I say, needs Fowl to be 15th or lower as things stand. So I think realistically in the championship, we're seeing a 3-horse race here. Noah Fowl, who's going to be championship leader by the end of today. As Rosso goes into a spin from down to 15th place, and actually loses position to Mackenzie as well. So Nathan Rosso, 19 positions gained so far, still is the biggest mover forward, but has just lost 2 of those positions here.
Is he the biggest mover?
He is now, yeah.
Yeah, 19 positions gained. I mean, Simone, you really have to be impressed with the run he's had. He's up 15 spots. And wait a minute, what happened to Annette just now?
He's having connection trouble.
Oh, he is having connection trouble. He's gone. He's
gone for good. He was gone for a while before he reappeared last time. But he seemed... and there he is again. He's having real trouble here.
No, this is bad.
Real trouble.
Yeah, this is bad. This is the kind of stuff that gets you booted. We'll see.
That'll be mega disappointing for him to have that, because he's led every lap of this race and deserves to win it as well. But unfortunately, he's dropping down the field a little bit more consistently now. And there he is again. Very briefly. So every time he pops back to the top again, he briefly gains connection with the server again.
Yeah.
And he's allowed to keep his place, as it were. He'll continue driving and hope that it just fixes itself, I suppose. There's nothing else he can do in this scenario, but it's a helpless situation for the race leader.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, he's gone again right now. We'll see if he pops back in. Eventually they're gonna kick him for this, though. They'll park him in the pits.
Yeah, they will.
Can't imagine he's coming back from this. This is a long one here.
It is. I have seen people recover from more, I must say, but
really?
That's rare. Rare. I've seen it once and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I don't. He's steadily going down. I mean, for some reason, it didn't just drop him to the pits. I guess because at any time, if he reappears, I guess that he would maintain whatever spot he's at currently on the track. But the thing is, if he's not in connection, well, I guess he's still driving on his end, though, isn't he?
It will drop him to the pits at some stage, though, if he reconnects at some stage, and we might have reached that point now where he would be dropped to the pit lane in case of a reconnection, because he's been gone for 2/3 of a lap now, and there's no coming back from that. So Stefan Dodderer is the new race leader. Amet was on for 4 in a row, by the way, this season. As I say, he's not been at all the races, but he has won 5 of the 7 he's attended, 8 indeed that he's attended, Unfortunately, it's going to remain 5 out of 9 as we have a look at Jimenez here, trying to gain points in the championship, going off through turn number 1. He doesn't lose any places because he's got such big gaps around him. However, that won't do much for his confidence.
No, I wonder how close that's going to put Varani to him, though. Still, what are they? Oh, he's still got 5 seconds on Varani right now. That's that's a lucky break, isn't it? I mean, I guess it's not really luck. He built that gap for himself, so the pebbles and the rocks and stones they are throwing up is crazy. What's funny is when you're driving these open wheel cars, you can literally hear them hitting your helmet. It's great.
Yeah, it's been well done in our race actually for quite some time. But see the stuff being brought back onto the circuit again is not as it's a bit more recent than the stones, which have always been audible. Well, always, but for a long time been audible in our racing. That's Ridgeway off, and that allows Kenzie Newhoff back into the top 10. He's already in the top 10, but he's now 9th. Is Kenzie Newhoff. Still down 7, of course, on the second where he was earlier, but doing just all right, I think, to regain some of these places. And there's not very many big gaps in front, so maybe you could take a few more.
Yeah, well, we're down to 1 lap to go here. When we cross the line, so and there's not really any tight battles currently on the track. And I have to feel for Annette. I mean, the guy dominated this race, and to have a connection issue cost you, but we did decide that he still had some chance at the championship prior to this, right? Or was
for who, sorry?
For Annette, for Johan Annette, or had we decided that he was eliminated?
Yeah, as it was standing, yeah.
So this is essentially going to cost him any chance at the championship because he was doing what he needed to do to stay in the hunt. I mean, that's horribly unfortunate, but looking at very few battles here. There's a couple that are somewhat happening, but have we taken the white flag yet?
No. Still 4 to go, 3 to go at the line.
Oh, is it?
You forget.
I'm blind as a bat. Never mind. That 3 looked like that 23 looked like a 25 to me.
Oh,
well,
Dodder, of course, is all the way around the other half of the lap. Even though these guys are only 8th and 9th, they're still most of a lap down now. Well, 2/3 of a lap down now. So, Dodder is cruising at this stage and just needs to avoid mistakes now to go on and take victory in this season.
8 second gap over Simone here. Jimenez is another 23 seconds back from Simone. Lucas 5 seconds back. I mean, I guess at any point in time you could have a bad twitch or something and instantly, have a battle on our hands here. Just kind of a matter of waiting for something to happen. But right now, if you look, I'll pull the best battles back up again. We do have a battle down here, down in the field. We have a battle. But other than that, you can see the next closest battle is almost 3 seconds apart.
Yeah, it's not particularly close across the field anymore, but that's to be expected with the conditions that we've got as they are right now. Here comes Tarmina into the back of Dorian Arroyo, and no way through on the way into turn 1 this time. By the way, Arroyo, part of the highest placed team in the championship with 2 drivers still in this race, although they're 16th and 18th, so not scoring that many points. They are still scoring something for Twin Dragons Racing, starting the day 52 points behind Artendella Red, who will lose points here tonight with Johan Annette now out. Noah Fowl flying the flag for them, but still up in 7th, so it's not a terrible score for them in the team's championship. They're trying to have this battle while letting Luca Varani through. I'm pretty sure that is the 4th place driver, and Tarmina going to try and take advantage of Arroyo letting Varani through. Oh, he can't quite do it. Parked on the apex there through Degna 1, prevented him from doing anything.
All right, I need to, you know how I am about liveries. Okay, so I need to get a look at this on this car. I love liveries. I don't know what it is. Let's see. I'm going to go this one. Show the battle behind, but maybe I can. That's like dragon scales on that car. You can look at the car. It's also an interesting camera angle. Quite a well. That would be a reason why they would have dragon scales on the car. Man, I tell you what, I'm sharp today. Yeah, they got Nerf bullets that are sharper than me. Oh my goodness!
Yeah. I don't know what this camera is really attached to. I guess it doesn't matter in our racing,
no,
does
it's
it?
right out, it's attached right above the suspension.
Oh yeah, true.
It's over there as well.
Oh, there you go.
On a little longer arm over here, apparently. You know, you can do anything. I mean, you see those things. Whoa!
Hello, that's Dennis Cornu.
Yeah. I mean, and it's crazy how they're getting that level of passing. Like, just flew by them. I mean, you know, and these guys are still, 16th, 17th in the field, and they're just getting blasted by these guys up front.
Yeah, it's remarkable the speed that these guys at the front have got compared to some of the guys they're lapping. Last time round for Gabrielli, for example, was a 2:03.4. Some of the guys further down the field are struggling to stay in the 2:07s, 2:08s. But such as these conditions, that is the difference we're looking at the moment. But that's the only battle on the circuit. It's a three-car battle. Taormina very nearly took advantage of Arroyo, letting Cornu past him there, and in towards turn one he had a go. Now he can't. Oh no! Don't go three wide. Oh jeez, that was close. Goodness me, Caruso there is quicker than these guys, but that was over-aggressive nearly. Tried to go through a three-wide moment. They thankfully saw sense and didn't do that. And Arroyo backs out of it.
The conditions aren't bad enough. Let's just send it three wide here right at the end of the race to make it interesting. Oh my goodness, that was kind of fun though. It wasn't too safe, but it was fun.
Yeah, it wasn't safe at all, really. But there you go. They've gotten away with it.
Has our leader
and
taken
Taormina
away?
and Caruso will. There we go. White flag for Stefan Dodderer. So one more lap to go for the race leader. We're going to finish this race, by the way, with about 5 minutes to spare. So the time limit again not coming into effect, even though it's been a wet race. Gabrielli is catching Dodderer and has been for some time, but the 16 overtakes that Gabrielli has had to make compared to just the 3 that Dodderer has had to make has slowed him down enough to allow Dodderer to get through for what could be a great win here. And by the way, it would be his first top 10 of the season if he were to be able to continue this.
Now, well, sometimes those guys in the rain, man, sometimes guys just, race well in the rain. And because, I mean, look, the reality is these are super fast guys. This league is full of really fast Super Formula Light drivers. So, it's hard to sometimes come out here and compete on a daily basis. And sometimes the top 15 in a 40-car field is doing really well. But the conditions favored him tonight. And, I mean, again, he was sitting in second, but we have to say a little bit of luck with what happened to Johan Annette. I mean, so unfortunate for him, especially with the championship stuff still in the picture. The guys, when he's been there this year, he's either had an incident or he's won the race. I mean, he's had a phenomenal season. That's not where I'd be putting my car on the last lap, though. I don't know that I'd be hanging my tires out there on the AstroTurf and the curb.
Just running through the middle of the circuit, not going anywhere near either edge.
Right down the middle, yes. Nowhere.
He's got enough seconds to do that, and indeed he does take it slightly more cautiously into 130R, where we haven't seen quite as much trouble so far tonight.
No,
but
really.
Dodderer is going to come into the final sector now. The final chicane, indeed. And he's going to take a brilliant win. His first top 10 of the season, and he'll be standing on the top step of the podium. Stefan Dodderer wins at Suzuka in the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League here for round 10 of season 4 in 2025. He can be very, very pleased with that. Gabrielli pushing him all the way, and it was one of the faster drivers in this field. Ends up 6 seconds further behind. Robert Ridgway, meantime, got through into 9th place on this last lap, and Varani is holding on from Cornu, so there are still a couple of potential changes to be had at the very end of this race. Here's Varani. Looks like he's got enough to stay in front of Cornu.
Yeah, this is it's going to be close though, but I mean it does look like he's got it right now. Yeah, there you go. Well, that's a great finish for Varani. He's been Mr. Consistent all year and clearly delivered a great performance in the rain this evening.
Yep, and he will go from 19 points off the championship lead to just 10 away. No, 15 away. Sorry,
yeah,
15 away from Noah Fowler, who'll be the new championship leader. He goes over the line in 7th, and Ridgway does indeed hang on for 9th, so he indeed gets his position. So Noah Fowler, as I say, will be the new championship leader. Tony Jimenez, who gets a podium, by the way, that's another one for him, by the way, his second of the season, third place finish as well of the season. He goes from 15 points behind Noah Fowler to just 11 behind, with still 2 races to go this season. Therefore, what does that mean? A couple of top 6 finishes would be enough for Fowler at this stage.
I told you I wasn't pulling my shoes off to do any math today. That's on you. It has to be mentioned that Noah Fowler, man, early in this race, spun way down to the bottom of the field and didn't panic, clawed his way back, got himself a nice finish out of this, ended up finishing 7th. Those are sometimes the kind of drives that win you a championship. It's not, necessarily the great, brilliant drives, but it's the ones where you minimize the damage that make the difference sometimes.
Absolutely. So at the end of 26 laps, let's take a look at the final race results from a very difficult night tonight, where nearly half of the field ended up retiring from this race, such as the very difficult conditions at this very difficult circuit here, Suzuka, tonight. Stefan Dodero wins by 6.1 seconds in front of Simone Gabrielli, and then a massive gap back to Tony Jimenez, nearly 40 seconds off the win in 3rd. Luca Varani also gains championship points with Jimenez in 4th, with Dennis Cornu in 5th. Kenzie Neuhoff recovered to 6th place in the end, despite a spin through Spoon and a pit stop, I think. Was there? Yeah, there was. Then there was Noah Fowler, finished in 7th place, but he is the new championship leader, and now, as I say, only needs a couple of top 6 finishes to win the title. Patrick Williams, Robert Ridgway, and Ewan were rounded out the top 10. Then it's Andrew Harris ahead of Andy Flint and Louis Ranson, who rounds out those on the lead lap. Nathan Rosso and Eddie Amos rounded out the top 15. Rosso, the biggest mover forward, with 21 places gained. 16th place went to John McKenzie ahead of Albert Harari, with Marcelo Caruso, Dorian Arroyo and Jerry Bull running at the top 20. Scott Taylor was also a lap down, with Vincenzo Taormina 2 down. He's the last one to be classified. Unfortunately, Johan Mnet was disconnected 6 laps from the finish. Guillaume Bazar had very good speed, but also retired. Max Bartolotta rounded out the top 25. Kojito couldn't get down to the end of his home race, unfortunately. 26th, Jack Willems in 27th. Olivier Samuel, Simon Fessi, Justin Carazosa running out the top 30. 31st went to Yunus Amal, and these are all with retirement to win the first 5 laps now, by the way. Jose Gil, Noah Richie Robinson, Mehmet Emir Atashi, Kai Sarumi, who was also the hometown driver today, Chris Patel, then Clark Williams, Ben Goyette, Marius Anderson, who retired before even completing a lap, Jose Garcia and Richard Van Veen didn't take part in the races, despite being around for practice and qualifying and so on earlier on in the day. So that is just about it from us here tonight. I mean, incredibly difficult conditions, as we always suspected it would be here when we loaded into this session. Seeing the rain, we knew it would be a very, very difficult race, and at this difficult circuit, the attrition rate very much reflected that, with only just about half of the drivers making it to the finish in the end.
Yeah, I have to say, to be honest with you, the attrition was bad, and we knew it was going to be a lot of those single car, just like mistakes, because of the, there wasn't a ton of real accidents. In fact, were there any real accidents where the cars really wrecked each other? I don't. Nothing stands out in my head anyway. So it was a lot of just attrition, but. Some impressive drives out there. Johan Annette's drive was quite impressive until he got disconnected. dominated and then had that spin and then just decided to take it easy. But he was still 7 or 8 seconds ahead at that point. Noah Fowles recovery, Luca Varani, nice. Jimenez, good race. Yeah, overall, still a lot of impressive racing out there, even though the conditions certainly didn't give us, the fastest race necessarily.
No, certainly not. But even so, it was an entertaining one, and so that sets us up nicely for the final 2 rounds of the season. As I say, top 6 required now from Noah Fowles in the last 2 races. However, he finished 7th tonight. So you do the maths. That means that it's very much still possible for the others to get involved. But it's probably down to just he alongside Tony Jimenez and Luca Varani now. We'll be back live, same time, same place here on the JPB YouTube channel for the next round of the championship. We'll come to you from Long Beach. That'll be an important one as far as the championship is concerned. Staying out of trouble, going to be absolutely imperative there, as it was here tonight as well. I've been Ian O'Leary alongside Jim Cunningham, and until we see you in 1 week's time again for the penultimate round of this season, it's goodbye for now.